Oh, hey everyone. You're not going to believe what I have to show you today. Today we'll be taking a look at the all-new Agilite K19 version 3 and go over all the new changes. Well, tell you what, let's get into this thing already and see all the new stuff they added. All right, everyone, let's do it. Alright, so normally I'd spend a bit of time to tell you what this product is and usually a little bit about why you'd care. But we went into like super detail on the K19 version 2 already. So if you want to link to that video, I'll put up here and we go like way into the weeds of the details of that carrier. But on this video, I really just want to focus on the changes that are on the version 3 and if it's really worth it for you to upgrade. We'll start by taking a look at the new shoulder straps. Wait. Hold up. If you got a new version 3, the hardware pack that you need for all these changes, they're in the front pocket. They didn't forget it. Trust me, it's in the front zipper pocket. We'll start by taking a look at the new shoulder straps, the cummerbund changes, and I'll talk about some products that can definitely take this carrier even further. And then finally, we'll look at the changes that Agilite made with the rear buckles. And Agilite was kind enough to send us this version 3 to check out, and I want to give a big shout out back to them for being so kind to us and our viewers. The Agilite team always makes us feel like family, and interacting with their great team only makes us want to work with them more and see all the exciting products they're working on. I did promise Boaz that he can be on a video one day. Don't worry, buddy, I didn't forget. Well though, let's dig into the carrier and look at all the changes. The first big difference you're going to notice is the option to remove the QD shoulder buckle and replace it with the low profile buckle. And this, well, I like the QDs, but I do understand that the times you would actually use these would probably be extremely limited. And Boston at Javlin Concepts and both Jesse at Defense Mechanisms really taught me a lot about why the industry is moving away from these QD shoulder buckles as a whole. But I like options. With the 3.0 version, you can keep the QDs, you could remove them both, or just run a QD on one side if you wanted to. And some folks I talked to really had issues getting a clean shoulder position with this carrier and their particular body type. Me though, I really didn't have an issue. While I could put the buttstock on the shoulder pad, I like to actually hook it into the carrier as it feels like I have a more stable platform when I do it that way. And then I'm more in line with the rifle and my eye, and then the entire carrier acts as a system to further secure the entire firearm. But that's me. And what's so great about the 3.0 is this whole theme to fit around, well, you. Like I mentioned, you could just run the 2 standard QD buckles, like on the version 2, or you can get out the hardware pack from the front center pocket that I mentioned earlier. What's funny is I even messaged Agilite to tell them the hardware pack was missing. It's not missing. Inside the hardware pack though, you'll find some buckles that we use for the AMAP 3 later and 2 low profile shoulder straps. To install these, just open the shoulder cover, then lift up on the Velcro shoulder strap and feed it back through the rock buckle. Once the strap is removed, you can just lift up on the padded portion of the shoulder pad to remove it from the bag. And this whole shoulder segment should now be freed. Then on the carrier side, lift up on the hook and loop tab and you can slide off the other side of the rock buckle with just a little force, and there we go, we got it. Then grab your low profile buckle and slide it onto the plate carrier side and close the strap with the hook and loop. And there really isn't like a top and a bottom to those low profile buckles, so you don't have to worry about getting it wrong. Once locked down, feed the other shoulder strap through the low profile buckle and cinch back down to the top of the carrier, as you also connect in the padded strap at the matching height. I know how I like the K19 to ride on me, so it's pretty easy for me to mess with and get it set right, but you may need to adjust that top shoulder strap and the padded strap just so you don't have any weird slack anywhere. You can then leave the carrier in this configuration if you wanted to, and have the low profile buckle on your strong side if you want to actually rest your buttstock against the shoulder strap. See? Options. And then you'd still have a system that you could quick off in the case of a vehicle emergency or if you're just pinned in somewhere.
This is not how Batman dies.
But if you're like very, very unlikely to be in a vehicle, yeah, you could just remove both of the shoulder QDs. And you just follow the same basic steps of disconnecting the Velcro straps to slide out the rock buckles and then insert the low profile buckle. And voila! Just like that, Reddit has nothing to cry about. Well, there is that bit about the Cummerbund, but they did make some changes there too, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But the K19 version 3 really just adds options, giving you the ability to run 2 QDs if you're in vehicles and doing ops.
Yeah, I have 6 orders of chicken nuggets.
Or run just 1 if you want that quick Duff feature, but want to keep the stock on the shoulder pad on your strong side. Or just run both sides slick to be able to swap between shoulders and be completely unobstructed. And it's nice to see Agilite thinking beyond what they want you to use, and instead give the user themselves a variety of options. All right, well, there's actually some other upgrades they made on the version 3 also, so let's get to those. And the next one's gonna be on the actual Cummerbund section. Here, Agilite changed the rock buckle style used to incorporate the design with the slit built in. This allows the user to connect in different types of Cummerbunds and Cummerbund connector styles. To remove the buckle, just slide down the fabric to the open slit in the top and the bottom to free the connector. And the Cummerbund on the K19 can actually be a really big matter of contention based on what the user's trying to do with it. But with one more really smart product, the K19 suddenly becomes this do-it-all plate carrier. And I'm hoping there are a lot of smart companies out there that are looking to design a hook and loop Cummerbund adapter that would connect in via MOLLE and then fold over to connect the Cummerbund connection points. So then you could connect in a Defense Mechanisms hybrid Cummerbund or a Javlin Concepts rigid Cummerbund, whatever you want really. And then with the new removable front connectors, you could slide in different style of connection points right into the K19. Or hell, just remove it all together and just run full hook and loop to get some extra Cummerbund real estate back in the front of the carrier. And Lev is a super smart guy, so I bet he's working on some magic to make that Cummerbund adaptation happen. And no, I haven't seen it. Also, no, I don't know when that badass X and O EDC pack's coming out. All right, so there's one more update that was made to the K19 version 3, and that has to do with those extra buckles that are in the actual hardware pack. On the previous version of the K19, in both the version 1 and version 2, you'd have the buckles on the side of the rear carrier that you couldn't remove that would allow you to connect in the AMAP 3 rear pack. The version 2 of the K19 got rid of the bottom buckles and instead included them with the AMAP 3. And good grief, all of you would freak out to me that your new version 2 didn't have the bottom buckles. I literally told you they removed it. Watch the whole video. Don't skip around like a goober. Anyway, with the version 3, Agilite actually made all of the rear pack buckles removable. And they included them in the hardware pack that they definitely hid in the front pocket of the new version 3. And I love this because 1, now all the buckles are included and I don't get a bunch of comments from people that they didn't get the 50 cents worth of buckles included. And 2, you no longer have a bunch of flappy buckles on the back of your carrier. But I'll be totally honest, I may have actually smashed my rear buckles with a hammer and installed the removable type of buckles so I can add them and remove them as I want. And look at that, now I don't have to do that anymore. And those buckles being removable just flows in line with a lot of the other upgrades that focus on options for the end user. So then, do I think you should upgrade? Well, if you have the version 1 of the K19, then absolutely yes. The changes to the placard connection and shoulder straps and all the new doodads make it a great carrier to upgrade into. And then you have a backup carrier for your spouse or your friends, if you have friends. But you really only need to upgrade to the version 2 if you have issues with the actual QD buckles themselves. As I've seen that some body types, and definitely some individual preference, may not warrant the ability to hook the stock into the carrier as I prefer. Or you may just hate the idea of hooking your stock into your plate carrier, and then the version 3 solves all your problems. But I'm a little bit reserved in my recommendation to jump into the version 3 because I haven't seen exactly what's going to happen with some of those hook and loop Cummerbund adapters. And that's really the missing piece that would make the version 3 just absolutely shine. And I look forward to getting to try the K19 with rigid or hybrid Cummerbund styles. But until an actual hook and loop Cummerbund adapter is out on the market and available for purchase, the actual changes to the Cummerbund adapter really doesn't do much for you, and the dangling buckles, well, they were already a pretty easy fix. So for some of you, the K19 may be exactly what you need and what you've been waiting for, where you can have that super comfy carrier and then now have that perfect stock placement right on that shoulder pad. But for me, the version 2 is just fine based on my usage, but I am watching intently to see some of the new Cummerbund solutions. Regardless of version 2 or version 3 though, the K19 still sits in the top spot on our carrier list, and whichever you have results in an absolutely great carrier made by a completely wonderful team. And just the sheer option to change it to whatever fits you best just pushes it even further up the list. Well, I hope this video on the K19 version 3 was useful in your purchasing decisions. I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon supporters and our YouTube live members for making all this possible and making it so we can see all this cool stuff and interact with these great companies. And I want to say thanks to everybody that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below what you think about those removable shoulder buckles. All right, everyone, Walsh out. Removable shoulder buckles. Good grief.
I'm stuck to the spring.